woke up about 6 a.m. The cat lay next to me in bed and I stroked her there. We both went back to sleep. At 7:30 a.m. Sue went downstairs and made 2 cups of green tea and brought them back to bed. We drank them in bed and listened to RNZ. Sue checked The Guardian and caught up with messages on her phone. I checked my emails and did free cell tasks and golf on my cell phone. I then read some pages from How to Relax by Thich Nhat Hanh. At 9 a.m. I got up and videoed as I took sourdough starter up and downstairs and the discarded starter to and from the garage fridge. I fed the sourdough starter before returning it upstairs to the linen closet. I searched online for Chelsea Winter's recipe for beer bread, aka lockdown loaf. I found it and printed it to make it later. I will probably try to adapt it so that it can use discarded sourdough starter. At about 10 a.m. I made wild oats porridge for Sue and myself to eat for breakfast. While it was cooking, I tried to make 2 flat whites, but the espresso machine did not work, so I made a French press pot of coffee instead. Sue and I ate breakfast and drank coffee. Paul arrived while we were having breakfast, and I let him know the espresso machine wasn't working. After I had finished breakfast, I cleaned up, then ran some white vinegar into the coffee machine. This cleared the blockage and it started working properly again. I flushed the machine thoroughly after running the white vinegar through it, but still couldn't make flat whites as we were out of coffee beans. I messaged Robin, Rudy, Sam, Tanya and Tony to see how they were doing. All were doing well. I messaged Rana to see how she was doing and to find out how to connect to the mindfulness sessions. She said she wasn't doing it today as it was a public holiday. At 12:30 p.m. I did an online Tai Chi session hosted by Matt. At 1:30 p.m. I finished the session and came downstairs and prepared lunch for Sue and I. At 2 p.m. Paul arrived home with milk and coffee beans and I made 2 flat whites for Sue and myself. A little before 3 p.m. Sue and I walked up to Paul and Lynn's section with Baloo. I went up to help Paul with the lift. We sat around for hours waiting for instructions from China. We had 1 or 2 instructions by 5:15 p.m. Then several instructions came through. We carried on until about 5:50 p.m. ready to become too dark to carry on. We went home. Paul cooked fish for dinner. While he was cooking, I went down and got petrol for the car, then returned home, then immediately went down to the studio to collect 2 LED floodlights that I had intended to collect while I was getting petrol. I returned home and went to the library and put one of the LED lights on charge, then sat down in the living room to watch some of the news on TV1. Paul served tea about 7 p.m. Lynn and Sue and I sat down with Paul and we ate tea. After we finished tea, Sue cleaned up while Paul and I returned to the building site and communicated with our contact in China to try and sort out the problem with the lift. I ran several tests, then the lady in China set up a WeChat group session with her, the technicians and me. We worked until nearly 11 p.m, then agreed to continue tomorrow. Paul and I returned home. At about 11 p.m, I sat down next to Sue in the living room. We watched an episode of Ozark. At about 12:20 a.m, Sue and I went up to the bedroom. Sue had a shower and I played golf and Falcon on my cell phone. When Sue returned, I had a shower and a shave, then returned to bed and put out the light and went to sleep. We had 1 new confirmed case of COVID-19, -2 probable cases, and 1 new death. There are 7 cases in hospital. There were actually 4 new probable cases, but 6 cases from yesterday reclassified.